Did you know that Mahatma Gandhi's journey towards becoming a global icon for non-violent resistance started not in India but in South Africa? In the year 1893, a young Mahatma Gandhi arrived in the bustling port city of Durban, Natal. He was there to serve as legal counsel to a merchant named Dada Abdullah. Welcome to our channel. If you are new in this channel, please subscribe the channel for more informative videos. So, let's start the video. However, his time in South Africa would prove to be about more than just legal work. Gandhi was confronted with the harsh realities of racial discrimination when he was forcibly ejected from a first-class train compartment despite possessing a valid first-class ticket. The reason? Simply because of his Indian heritage. This was a pivotal moment that profoundly impacted Gandhi. It was a stark confrontation with racial prejudice, a bitter taste of the pervasive injustice that he would spend the rest of his life fighting against. This incident ignited in Gandhi a fierce determination to fight against racial prejudice and injustice. In the face of racial discrimination, Gandhi responded not with violence but with a new philosophy, Satyagraha. Satyagraha, a Sanskrit term combining satya, meaning truth, and agraha, meaning firmness, became the cornerstone of Gandhi's approach to civil rights activism. This philosophy advocated for resistance through non-violent means, a principle that was as revolutionary as it was powerful. In South Africa, Gandhi found himself surrounded by fellow Indians from different communities, all of whom were subjected to a multitude of discriminatory laws and policies. A poll tax that targeted the Indian community, restrictions on land ownership, denial of voting rights, and racially biased curfews were just a few examples of the challenges they faced. But Gandhi, armed with his philosophy of Satyagraha, saw these challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for change. He began to unite the Indian community in South Africa, transcending the barriers of caste, creed, and region. He rallied them together to stand up against the injustices they were facing. Through Satyagraha, Gandhi organized protests and strikes, urging his followers to resist the oppressive laws through non-violent means. These acts of civil disobedience were not without consequence. Gandhi and his followers faced arrests, imprisonment, and even physical violence. But in the face of such adversity, Gandhi remained steadfast in his commitment to Satyagraha. His leadership and unwavering commitment to non-violence inspired the Indian community in South Africa. The mass protests and strikes led by Gandhi began to challenge the oppressive laws and policies. Despite the hardships, the community remained united and resilient under Gandhi's leadership. This period of Gandhi's life in South Africa marked the birth of Satyagraha, a philosophy that would later become a global symbol of non-violent resistance. It was a testament to the power of unity, truth, and non-violence in the face of injustice. In adopting non-violence, Gandhi set the stage for a new form of protest that would reverberate around the world. Gandhi's journey was not without its challenges, but his unwavering commitment to justice led to significant victories. In the face of adversity, Gandhi and the Indian community in South Africa faced a myriad of challenges. A poll tax that unfairly targeted the Indian population, restrictions on land ownership, and the curtailment of voting rights were but a few of the hurdles they encountered. The introduction of curfews further limited their freedoms, casting a shadow over their daily lives. But Gandhi, a steadfast beacon of hope, refused to let these challenges dampen the spirit of resistance. He led, inspired, and stood shoulder to shoulder with his fellow Indians during mass protests and strikes. His leadership extended beyond the boundaries of these demonstrations, as he fearlessly organized acts of civil disobedience, challenging the status quo and shining a light on the systemic injustices that plagued the Indian community. Yet, his path to justice was not a smooth one. Multiple times, Gandhi found himself behind bars, arrested for his audacious stance against discriminatory laws. But even the cold, hard walls of a prison cell could not deter him. His spirit remained unbroken and his resolve unshaken. Each arrest, each sentence served only served to strengthen his commitment to the cause, and his efforts were not in vain. Gandhi's persistent struggle bore fruit when some of the discriminatory laws, including the infamous Black Act, were repealed. This marked a significant victory in their fight for justice, a testament to the power of peaceful resistance. Despite the odds, Gandhi's unwavering dedication to the principles of justice and equality led to triumphs that had seemed unimaginable. His leadership in the face of adversity, his courage in the face of fear, and his commitment in the face of doubt all played a pivotal role in these victories. Through his unyielding spirit, Gandhi demonstrated the power of peaceful resistance in the face of injustice. His time in South Africa served as a crucible, forging his philosophy of Satyagraha and setting the stage for his later work in India. Gandhi's time in South Africa not only marked a turning point in his own life, but also left a lasting impact on the country's political landscape. Gandhi's commitment to justice and non-violent resistance created a ripple effect, inspiring others to stand up against oppression and discrimination. One of the most significant outcomes of this ripple was the establishment of the Natal Indian Congress, or NIC for short. The NIC was the first permanent political organization devoted to protecting the rights of Indians in South Africa. Formed in the year 1894, just a year after Gandhi's arrival in South Africa, the NIC aimed to fight against the growing tide of racial discrimination. The organization served as a platform for Indians to voice their concerns, unite in their struggles, and demand their rights. Under Gandhi's leadership, the NIC became a vital force in the fight for equality. The organization rallied the Indian community, mobilized protests, and petitioned the government for change. Through the NIC, Gandhi demonstrated the power of collective action and the effect it can have on driving societal change. But the influence of the NIC extended beyond the Indian community. It sent a powerful message to the world about the strength of unity in the face of adversity. It showed that together, people can challenge unjust systems, push for reform, and shape their own destinies. Gandhi's experiences in South Africa profoundly shaped his philosophy of non-violent resistance, which he carried with him when he returned to India. He applied the principles of Satyagraha, first developed and practiced in South Africa, to the fight for India's independence from British rule. His time in South Africa also helped shape his views on social justice, equality, and human rights principles that continue to resonate around the world today. His legacy serves as a reminder of the power of peaceful resistance and the possibility of change, even in the face of the most daunting challenges. Gandhi's efforts in South Africa laid the groundwork for his future activism, and his influence can still be felt today. In 1914, Gandhi returned to India, bringing with him the lessons and experiences from his time in South Africa. The seed of Satyagraha, sown in the soils of South Africa, began to flourish in the heart of India. His experiences had shaped a philosophy so powerful and persuasive, it would soon shake the very foundations of British colonial rule. Gandhi's time in South Africa was a period of transformation. The racial discrimination and injustice he faced there ignited a spark within him, a spark that ignited the flame of non-violent resistance. The concept of Satyagraha, born out of these experiences, was more than just a strategy for protest. It was a way of life, a philosophy that emphasized truth, non-violence, and moral courage. Upon his return, Gandhi began to apply these principles to the struggle for Indian independence. He saw India, his homeland, shackled by the chains of colonial rule, its people yearning for freedom. And he knew then that the path to freedom was not through violence and hatred, but through love, peace, and non-violent resistance. He led mass protests and strikes, mobilizing millions of Indians across the country. He inspired people to stand up for their rights, to resist unjust laws, and to do so peacefully and non-violently. His commitment to non-violence was unwavering, even in the face of brutal repression and violence. It was this steadfast commitment that made Gandhi a beacon of hope, a symbol of resistance, a national hero. Throughout his life, Gandhi remained true to his principles. He once said, "Non-violence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man." And he proved it, leading India to independence without firing a single bullet. Gandhi's journey in South Africa was a crucible that shaped his philosophy and methods, ultimately leading to his pivotal role in India's fight for independence. His journey, his struggles, and his triumphs continue to inspire millions around the world, reminding us that even in the face of the greatest adversity, we have the power to change the world through love, peace, and non-violent resistance. Gandhi's early life in South Africa was a transformative period that shaped his philosophy and approach to fighting injustice. Arriving as a young lawyer, he faced firsthand the harsh realities of racial discrimination, kindling his commitment to combat such prejudice. The birth of Satyagraha, a form of non-violent resistance, was a testament to Gandhi's evolving ideology, uniting the Indian diaspora under a common cause. His journey in South Africa was marked by trials and triumphs as he led mass protests, strikes, and acts of civil disobedience against discriminatory laws and policies. Despite the challenges, his unwavering commitment led to tangible changes and the establishment of the Natal Indian Congress, a beacon of hope for the Indian community. Gandhi's experiences in South Africa laid the groundwork for his subsequent activism in India, shaping his philosophy of non-violent resistance, which would become instrumental in India's fight for independence. From his humble beginnings as a young lawyer in South Africa to his role as a leader of India's independence movement, Gandhi's legacy continues to inspire the fight for justice and equality around the world.